I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. We are back with the most illuminating wristwatch feature on YouTube. It is lots of Lume. Now we're going to be jumping into some fantastic high horology watches and bedrock utility watches featuring luminescent dials and bezels. Well, I'm not going to start off with the grand finale. You are looking at the Blancpain 50 Fathoms flyback chronograph, and that's going to be spectacular with that sapphire capped, fully lumed bezel. But let's start out with something a little bit more elemental. Let's start out with a basic dive watch. Let's start out with the TAG Heuer Aquaracer Calibre 5. This is a handsome watch and an accessible one for the new graduate, the watch collector just getting started in Swiss mechanical, or the advanced collector looking for a daily driver. This watch has a lot of character and, I should add, lots of lume. So let's charge it up. I bring my 400 lumen bike light into service. Fading out. And lighting up. As you can see, this watch is handsome with an elegant dial. It doesn't have the large, ponderous, overly massive indices on its dial that's commonly seen in the dive segment. Nevertheless, the watch is abundantly to it. You can easily see the luminescent index on the bezel. Line it up with the minute hand, and whether in low or no light or the pitch black of the ocean depths, you can easily tell the time relative to your fixed point of reference using the Aquaracer Calibre 5. Now coming back to the light, we're going to start stepping up the horological ladder a bit. In this case, yet another utility watch, but a bit of a rock star. This time, it's the brand new Rolex Daytona reference 116500LN. This is the first of the ceramic bezel stainless steel Daytonas. Arguably the star of Basel World 2016 and possibly the watch of 2016. This is a abundantly legible utility style watch that might surprise with the strength of its Rolex Chromalite signature. And there you can go. This is about as stark contrast as you can get between TAG Heuer and Rolex. Rolex, of course, being a completely vertically integrated manufacturer, they make everything right down to their lubricants and, yes, their own variant of Superluminova known as Chromalite. It debuted in 2008 on the Deep Sea, but it has expanded throughout the entire line to the point that we're going to see a Rolex Date 40 today that even features Chromalite. Alright, jumping to our next candidate. We're going to go up the luminescence scale here just a little bit, as promised, with another Rolex. This time, the 228-239 white gold Rolex Date 840. Now it features a laser etched dial, Rolex Chromalite, and you might actually be surprised by the vigor of this one's luminescence compared to the Daytona. Though not traditionally known as a sports watch, the Date 840 should not be underestimated when the lights go out. Getting an early start on Halloween, you can see the luminescence of this one and the characteristic elongated indices. Beautiful after night falls. This is a spectacular watch for dress purposes, for casual purposes, although in white gold you can wear this watch with just about anything. A dark dial and white metal being the ultimate in men's sartorial versatility. And with the heart of a sports watch and the dial of a sports watch, again, this could be your only watch. Now we're going to start moving into the heavy hitters. And to start, it's worthwhile to take something a little bit off the beaten path in the sports watch segment. Roger Dubuis, from 2004, the company, known for oversized and expressive case and dial combinations since its 1995 founding, jumped into the sports watch segment. Now in 2004, there were the Aquamare, the Easy Diver, and the Seymour. And what you're looking at right here is from that first class of SAWs, Sports Activity Expected. Designed by Carlos Diaz, the business and design brains behind the Roger Dubuis manufacturer is founded. These watches were often noted as just for friends because their design was so particular. Diaz liked to say that they were designed just for friends of the brand's unconventional horological concept. And as you can see, stylized Roman numerals, indices, hands, a high horology piece, an avant-garde piece, but also a brilliant piece when the lights go down. And from one that's covered with the signature of Carlos Diaz, something a little bit closer to home. A watch that you've no doubt seen on my channel many times, my own Master Compressor Extreme World Alarm Tides of Time Limited Edition from Jaeger-LeCoultre. Now you can see, it's a little bit uneven, and whole chunks of the dial are missing because of the Memovox setting complication, but what's there is brilliant. Broad trapeze hands, easy to see. You can see the seconds hand plying its arc around the dial, and the highly stylized Arabic numerals at 12 and 6. Now I have another entry from JLC, also one of mine. One of the most unconventional watches when the lights go down. The Amvox 2 came out in 2006, inspired by vintage Aston Martin dashboard instruments. But what I always found striking about this watch is that when the lights go down, it actually looks like 1950s and 1960s Chrysler electroluminescent displays. So by day, an Aston Martin. By night, a little bit of vintage Mopar. You decide. Also note two different types of lume, a brilliant superluminova on the chronograph discs and calypso-style hands at center, and the rare black luminova variant used for the numerals and indices. So you can see this one's a genuine UFO in the dark. It looks spectacular. And the scrolling discs when the chronograph is running in the dark, equally scintillating. You'll also note that the Arabic numerals, faint compared to the lume on the hands and the discs, that's what black superluminova looks like when it's activated. Very faint but legible. This is also what you see when you look at an Hublot all black in the dark, and you'll note even in the time I've been speaking to you that black luminova has lost its intensity. Well, I promised you something big, and I'd hate to leave you without lighting up this Blancpain 50 Fathoms flyback chronograph. Exceptional, not just because of the size and the coverage of the lume, but because of the sapphire cap over the fully luminescent bezel. This is a watch that's arguably just as distinctive with the lights out as it is with the lights on. That's a lot of lume. As you can see, the bezel, which you can now array to align, and quite easily at that, with the minutes hand, makes this an easy watch to read in low or no light conditions. You'll also note, very subtle, but all of the sub-registers feature lumed hands. This watch is completely functional, including complications, in the dark, and absolutely brilliant. But there's nothing I love if not a surprise. And so I've got a bit of a ringer here. The Breitling B50. The B50 is a model that features external charging capability, a Breitling thermocompensated superquartz movement for once not derived from an ETA caliber, but an exclusive caliber developed expressly for Breitling with an outside quartz contractor. Now what's interesting here is that the watch features both a powered backlight and a luminova luminescent system. So first, let's take a look at the luminova in action. I think you'll be surprised by the brilliance of this quartz timepiece without the battery-powered light. Quite comprehensive and quite legible, but I will say that you can double your fun by going for the backlight. And then you have a completely singular luminescent signature. This is where quartz has its privileges. This Breitling B50, an absolute torch when double lit. You can see and you can purchase all of these watches, except for mine, on our website. This has been Lotsa Lume. Until next time. Also, comment in the comment threads below the video if there are watches in our inventory that you would like to see on Lots of Lume. Give me a shout out in the comment threads below and I'll be sure to feature them on a future edition of Lots of Lume.